danced the whole night. And in fact, now I'm urging Kisii women to have more babies and name them Hoda. So, honorable male members, Honorable Soro, you work hard so that your mother in the house can produce Hoda. More girls, we need more children, courtesy of Hoda. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Members, we will allow the compliments to be recorded in not more than 2 minutes. Except for the Honorable Ndindi Nyoro, who will speak next for 3 minutes.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I also rise to congratulate our very eloquent and intelligent lady in the US. And Honorable Speaker, this goes to show that the human capital in Kenya is actually the best in the world. When you travel even outside of Kenya, in any region of the world, you are likely to get the best professionals, being the people of Kenya. And not just in politics, Honorable Speaker. If you go, for example, across Africa, everywhere we have had resets of economies, even Rwanda. Currently, if you go to Ethiopia, they are setting up their financial market. You find that it is the Kenyan people who are doing that. But, Honorable Speaker, even on that, I also want to take this opportunity to congratulate the President-elect, the 45th and 47th President of the United States of America, Donald Trump. The reason why, Honorable Speaker, if you go through history, Republicans are always better in terms of policies, service. Honorable Speaker, is based on the interest rate. And the interest rate in the Fed also percolates to our own capital markets. It is usually said, Honorable Speaker, that when the economy of the world sneezes or coughs, the other economies catch cold. And I want to believe that going forward, the United States will be more responsible in exercise of their power, and especially given the fact that their currency is the global reserve. And Honorable Speaker, the same reason we saw yesterday, after the win, we saw the markets across the world responding. We saw Dow Jones, we saw all the global markets responding positively, because every person in the world knows that Republicans are better for the economy of the world, are better for the global south, and we look for very good.
Why did you disconnect Honorable Ndindi Nyoro when talking about Trump?
Honorable Speaker, as I wind up, I was just trying to say, history, we say that the laboratory of economics is history. And the only place to see how things work is to look at how they have worked before. If you compare democratic regimes in terms of the Democrats and the Republican regimes, you find that when there are Republicans in power in the US, the economies of the global south perform better. And the more the reason, because this is known, that we see, Honorable Speaker, after the win by the Republicans, we saw a response, a positive response in the markets in the US and across the world. But there is only one pitfall, Honorable Speaker, as I finish. Again, when there is sentiment of a strengthening economy in the US, we'll have a tendency of dollar becoming stronger. Unfortunately, when the dollar becomes stronger, means it is in respect to other currencies. But I want to report to this House, even looking at the tendency of our Kenya shillings against the greenback from yesterday, it shows the Kenyan fundamentals have been grounded, and the more the reason we have seen, even when the dollar is strengthening, our shilling is also strengthening. And lastly, we also hope the United States will also not bring about a lot of economic wars, and especially with China. We do not expect to see the kind of tariff wars because they also affect our economies. So we expect that going forward, we'll see sunshine where the same US economy have poured cold water in the economies. We foresee, Honorable Speaker, that going forward, we will have warmth in the economies like Kenya, and we will see progress across all the economies of the world. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Chair, Budget Appropriations Committee. The Honorable Jerusha Momanyi.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity, Honorable Speaker, so that I can also celebrate this brilliant girl who is called Hoda Nyamitsa. It's another name because I know she comes from my village. She's called Nyamitsa Momanyi. And you also know that I am Momanyi, Jerusha. That means we share that name from the same parents. I want to congratulate this girl because she acknowledged that we are not even able to explain. We are so happy. The people of Nyamira are so happy. The people of Kenya are so.
And it really is not a preserve of the Honorable Jerusha Momanyi. They are not related. They just come from the same area. Thank you very much.
Honorable Soro, for the avoidance of doubt, in Africa we don't have cousins.
Yeah, we
We
don't.
are brothers and sisters. So continue, Honorable Jerusha Momanyi.
Sure, Honorable Speaker, thank you for informing your Soro. Soro should know that whoever is called your name and who comes from your village, that is your sister or your brother. I'm so grateful that Hoda
Give Honorable Jerusha Momanyi 1 minute to conclude. This is her sister. She's talking about.
We are so happy. That is why Osoro is also excited like I am excited. I want to urge every Kenyan who is living anywhere in this world to come up and ask for elective posts because we have been proven as Kenyans and as Nyamirans that we are so happy and we know how to do the work. Wherever we have been given the job, we do. It is because of the hard work of Hoda, because of high resilience and the love that she had for his people. That's why she has been elected. We wish her the best. We wish her success as she moves along. And we know from her we have the future president. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Anthony Kibagendi.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to also get to congratulate my sister, Hoda Momanyi. Hoda Momanyi is an excellent community leader who understands that leadership is not about taking advantage of people, but making a difference right where you are, right where you're planted. She is the immediate former chair lady of the Mwanyagetinge community group in Minnesota, in Brooklyn Park. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So when I visited Minnesota some time back, Honorable Speaker, I got a chance to be introduced to this wonderful lady by a gentleman called Sammy Reri. And it is in that time that this lady was again preparing to run for a seat around Brooklyn Park, where she wasn't successful. And because of her resilience and her determination, she has gotten an opportunity to be elected. And I believe this wonderful lady, who has consistently shifted from seeking societal legitimacy or validation to constructing what I can call a meaningful legacy through bringing together the Kenyan communities living in Minnesota and the African communities. We have a lot of Liberians, we have a lot of people from Somali, and the Kenyan community there that she has put together to fight for their rights. So we appreciate her, and we hope this wonderful lady will go on to become an even a bigger star and rise even.
The Honorable Beatrice Elachi.
Allow me also to ride on and to appreciate Honorable Mayaka for just allowing us to celebrate a Kenyan lady, Hoda, Mr. Speaker, who has also broken a record that she vied on a party of Democratic Farmer Labor Party. I just want to tell her, you went the Kenyan way, which is an affiliate of the Democrats Party, Mr. Speaker. But to really say that this is one lady who also was against a librarian woman, it shows the resilience of the immigrants and that they are committed to build America and make America great. And I am hoping President Trump will be able to appreciate Africa, that he will look in his eyes and realize we are people who love people the way the Republicans do. And so for me, as she goes into the Congress with her values of equitable in housing, access to health, that we shall see a good policy on reproductive health from the Republicans, and that they will remember the embassy that we have now, where many Kenyans have gone and suffered at the embassy. And we need to have a policy, Speaker, that says if indeed I'm not going to get my visa, then they can charge us consultancy. And I'm hoping the Republicans will do that and refund people money the way we have lost money at the embassy of the US. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Japhet Nyakundi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also want to take this opportunity to ride on Honorable Mayaka in congratulating Hoda Momanyi in being elected in the House of Representatives in Minnesota, to be specific, Minneapolis. Everything is fine. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate him, and to congratulate him most sincerely, because this clearly shows that women have space in leadership, and this clearly shows that the Kenyan labor market is workable outside this country. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate her and tell the women of this country that you have a space in leadership wherever you are. Come out as women leaders, come out as women in society to ask for leadership positions, because I believe that women are the best leaders outside here. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity.
The Honorable Catherine Omanyo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am here just to celebrate, because when you look at her photo, she looks like me. Yes, and she is so daring, being a black woman, being black and being a woman and an immigrant, making it in the United States. I hope when Trump says he is going to deport people, he is not going to deport our Hoda. Otherwise, there will be trouble. The whole world will stop, because racism in today's world should not be encouraged. So I hope by her being elected in that parliament, she is going to calm Trump, so Trump cannot do whatever he said. Yes. Two, I want to also say
Osoro, what is out of order?
that Osoro just wants to interfere.
Sit, take your seat, Honorable
Honorable
Catherine
Speaker,
Omanyo.
is the honorable member in order to impute improper motives on the president-elect of the United States of America, the 45th and the 47th president, President Trump, elected by the majority, who's won all the seats in all levels? Is she in order to impute improper motive that he wants to deport and intends to deport Hoda? I mean, can she table evidence? It is not possible. In fact, if it was Kamala, she could have deported Hoda.
Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Catherine Omanyo, remember the United States of America is a friendly nation.
Trump's policy, one of the policy, was to deport immigrants. I am only quoting what President Trump said. It is in his policy. I beg Honorable Soro to go and read.
The policy of President Trump
is to deport immigrants.
Is to deport illegal immigrants, not all immigrants. Least of all, no president of the United States can deport.
Is a Kenyan who happens to have gone abroad and gotten elected. So let us all celebrate as Kenyans.
Minority Whip, the nature of this engagement does not allow any more point of order. The Honorable Dido Raso, you want to say something in recognition of this excellence?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I join my colleagues in congratulating Hilda. In fact, last year in October, that is 2023, we visited the Minnesota State Parliament, and she was among those who conducted us. Actually, for the first time, we were able to see firsthand that the three arms of government can sit in the same building. And also, during that time, we were told that she was working closely with the governor of that state. She has broken the glass ceiling because, per se, she's not an American. She is a Kenyan American. And for her to discover those new horizons, then it means it is not a mean feat. It is a great achievement. So we congratulate her. She is not a Kenyan. Now she is an American. So thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yeah, because the Honorable Chepkonga is engaged, I want to give, so do so in the shortest time possible. After that, we are going to the statement by the Honorable Mulyungi.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I am speaking for and on behalf of Honorable Makilap. There's nothing, you are not biased. I am speaking on his behalf.
Did I hear a member to shout that the presiding officer is biased?
No, you are not biased.
Could that member have the courage to stand when the speaker is up and say so? Yeah, the speaker is never biased. The speaker is an impartial, neutral, presiding officer of the House. Yes. Honorable Chepkonga will be heard in silence.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, can you protect me from Honorable Makilap and Honorable Mili? You know, Honorable Mili, she's a very good lawyer, and she should maintain that integrity. You don't want to lose it.
Honorable Chepkonga will be heard in silence.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, may I take this opportunity to congratulate Representative Hoda Momanyi. You know, I see people calling honorable. She's called Representative Hoda Momanyi. Mr. Speaker, you know, this tells you that the American dream is real. It is the land of the opportunity, where a Kenyan would go to the US and be elected. Mr. Speaker, I just want to remind you that the first Kenyan American president, Barack Obama, was elected the 43rd president of the United States of America. Mr. Speaker, I was in Minnesota, the twin city of Minnesota and Minneapolis in 1997. I was there for 5 weeks. At that time, Mr. Speaker, I was taken around by the Kisi community. At that time, Mr. Speaker, there were over 10,000 Kisis about 27 years ago. Mr. Speaker, and you know they were giving birth. So as we speak today, there must be in the region of 50,000. So electing a House of Representative person is easy, Mr. Speaker. And we want to congratulate those Kisis who live in Minnesota, Minneapolis, Mr. Speaker. It is a very nice city. For those who have never gone there, when there is winter, you don't need to come out of
Give Honorable Chepkonga 1 minute to be done, because I know he was easily distracted by the minority whip.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I appreciate it. Mr. Speaker, when I visited that city, in fact, it was during winter, and you can walk around in Minnesota without coming down. You're walking on the ground. There are routes which have been created from one building to the other. And Mr. Speaker, it is indeed a very modern city. And for one of our own to be elected in a first-class city like that one, Mr. Speaker, we truly are very grateful. Two, Mr. Speaker, as you know, Minnesota is a twin city. Is a twin city with Eldoret City, Mr. Speaker. Before we became a city, we were already having a relationship with Minnesota. So sorry, Mr. Speaker, I studied in University of Nairobi. So, you know, Honorable Millie should know, the only university that we had is the University of Nairobi. And Mr. Speaker, no problem. You went to the American University. I thank you, Mr. Speaker. So I want to congratulate the Honorable Momanyi. You don't want even to use the first name. We want to use the second name, Representative Momanyi. That, you know, that name itself, and coming from USA, Mr. Speaker, that is a feat. And I also want to congratulate Donald Trump. You know, Mr. Speaker, these are people who don't support LGBTQ like you and myself. Mr. Speaker, these are the group who are a problem. These are the group who are a problem. In fact, it is good that Trump won, so that Honorable Museveni, President Museveni, may have a breathing space, and their law becomes active in their country, Mr. Speaker. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I want us to go to the statement of Honorable Owen. We want to go into main business. You know, when you stand as a leader, the speaker has difficulties sitting you down. Can you make your statement in not more than 2 minutes? Because we want to go to main business.
I will do that. Honorable Speaker, I want to join to congratulate Hoda, who I met in Texas when we went there. And she's a fine lady, and she will carry the Kenyan flag high, and we wish her all the best. But I think it goes to that point, Honorable Speaker. She may have no influence at all on what happens in this country. She's been elected in a state legislature, not in the Congress of the United States. So her value is more to the people of Minnesota and Minneapolis, and therefore we need just to speak as much. You know, we are building hype and expectation on someone who just, you know, is like a member of a county assembly, you know, and that is what it is. That is what it is. Yes, a state legislature. So we know the value. So I want to say this, but I want to...
Honorable Dido Raso.
I want to say this.
Honorable Owen Baya, you will have your seat.
Honorable Speaker, the deputy leader of majority is standing in his place to cast aspersion on success of a lady in far waters. Is he in order to say that it is just a county assembly? That is not a Kenyan equivalent. That is the state of Minnesota, much, much bigger than the Republic of Kenya.
Yes, ma'am. Deputy Majority Leader, I know you want to withdraw that part.
Say this,
It's a big achievement for an immigrant.
Yes, Honorable Speaker, it is such a big achievement for a Kenyan to be elected at the state legislature. But I want to say this, you know, the Honorable Ndindi Nyoro keeps on saying things that cannot be empirically measured. The Republicans were in office. Africa, though may have favor, but Africans suffer. Africans suffer because the Republicans have a soft spot for African strongmen. They do not, Honorable Speaker, push for democratization of Africa. They support strongmen and dictators in Africa. And that is one. Secondly, Honorable Speaker, Republicans are known for a lean government. lean government. Let me say, the Republicans are known for lean government. And lean government means they will cut funding in education, they'll cut funding in health, they'll cut funding in social care. And these are facts, Honorable Speaker. These are facts. A Republican president in the United States means, therefore, although they will not give grants to Africa, they will be giving loans at very high rates, and the economies in Africa struggle. Economies, yeah, is this correct? Yes, economies in Africa struggle when we have a Republican in there. They will give you very expensive loans. They will stifle trade with China. They will ensure that no.
Honorable members, we are recording our compliments to a Kenyan who has won an election. We are not here to diagnose the policies of Democrats, Republicans. Really, you know how to approach that if you wanted to go that way. Can we have the Honorable Muliungi?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm not in the US. I'm on another subject. And I'll proceed on my subject. And I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Blue Economy and Irrigation regarding utilization of funds allocated for sinking of boreholes in Mwingi Central Constituency. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order number 44.2C, I wish to seek a statement from the chairperson of the Standing Committee on Blue Economy, Water and Irrigation regarding utilization of funds allocated for sinking of boreholes in Mwingi Central Constituency during the financial year 2023-24. This House allocated money for construction of boreholes across the country to alleviate the challenge of water shortage, especially in arid and semi-arid areas. This House didn't, as part of Parliament's endeavor to facilitate access to ordinary Kenyans to their economic rights as envisaged in Article 43(1)(d) of the Constitution of Kenya. Specifically, Honorable Speaker, the House didn't graciously provide funding for two boreholes, one at Kavoko Primary School and another at Kalesi Primary School in Mwingi Central Constituency. Each borehole was allocated 10 million, and the National Treasury didn't release the money to the implementing agency, namely Tanahadi Waterworks Agency. Of note, Honorable Speaker, is that this money was allocated following the area residents' outcry during public participation in Kitui County on the 2023-24 budget. However, Honorable Speaker, the implementing agency commenced the drilling of the two boreholes and then route to the point of finding water and abandoned the works before completion, citing lack of funds. Honorable Speaker, the area is very dry and residents usually walk 10 kilometers to fetch water from the few seasonal rivers, which also dry up during prolonged dry seasons like now. Hence, the boreholes would greatly have eased the residents' burden for searching for water. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I now seek a statement from the chairperson and in particular request for the following information. Number one, why the implementation of the project was started without public participation of the local stakeholders and area residents who had in the first place requested the project. Number two, why construction of the two boreholes was halted before completion despite full funding having been allocated by Parliament and released for the purpose of by the National Treasury. Number three, when and how the boreholes were procured, details of contractors awarded the tenders, contract sums, and scope of the contract. Number four, when the exercise will be completed and whether this could be expedited to alleviate the challenge of accessing water by the area residents. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Muliungi, your request for statement is directed at which committee?
the chairperson for Blue Economy and Irrigation.
The chairperson for the relevant committee is Honorable Rosa Buyu in that committee. Give her the mic.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to confirm that I'm a member of that committee. My chair is engaged somewhere and is not in the House, but I want to confirm to the House that indeed I will relay the message or the question to him, and he will take due action, as expected, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
By what time, Honorable Rosa Buyu?
Mr. Speaker, by the end of today, I will have relayed the message to him, and he will therefore be able to...
By what time should the House expect the response?
Mr. Speaker, would I be in order to request for 2 weeks, Mr. Speaker?
2 weeks, Honorable Mulungi?
That's okay, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, that's fine. Relay the message and let us have the
Mr.
response.
Speaker, I thank you.
Yeah, thank you. The statement request by Honorable Catherine Momanyi, MP. The Chair, Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations Committee is to respond. You have the response, Honorable Kirima. Do you have the response? Yes, I have. Yes, give Honorable Kirima the mic.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. On behalf of the Chairman of Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Affairs, Foreign Relations Committee, in response to the request for a statement by Hon. Catherine Momanyi, MP, Busia County, regarding the status of the fishermen in Bundarangi, Kenya, Uganda border area. Mr. Speaker, sir, the member for Busia County, Honorable Catherine Momanyi, MP, sought for a statement pursuant to Standing Order 44, subsection 2, on the harassment, arrests, and detention of Kenyan fishermen by Ugandan authorities at the Kenya-Uganda border areas of Lake Victoria. She specifically raised the following concerns in a request for that statement. Steps being taken by the ministry with the government of Uganda to ensure that Kenyan fishermen in Lake Victoria are treated with respect and dignity, and that any disputes over fishing rights are resolved amicably and peacefully. B, statement, strategies put in place by the ministry to work with the Lake Victoria Fisheries Organization and other stakeholders to harmonize the fishing policies and procedures in the lake and to provide adequate support and protection to the fishermen, to the Kenyan fishermen. C, measures put in place to embrace security and sovereignty in the Lake Victoria and to collaborate with Ugandan authorities to prevent and punish any acts of harassment and extortion against Kenyan fishermen and by Ugandan authorities. Mr. Speaker, sir, the committee engaged the Office of the Prime Cabinet Secretary and the Ministry of Foreign and Diaspora Affairs on the above concerns listed by Honorable Catherine Momanyi, MP. I therefore wish to respond to the issues as follows. Honorable Speaker, on the step being taken by the ministry to engage with the government of Uganda to ensure that Kenyan fishermen in Victoria are treated with respect and dignity, and that any dispute over fishing rights are resolved amicably and peacefully, the Kenyan embassy and its diplomatic staff have effectively mediated specific disputes by engaging with the Ugandan Ministry of Foreign Affairs during the Kenyan-Uganda joint ministerial meeting held in Nairobi from 12th October to 14th May 2024. Stressed the need to address harassment of fishermen in Lake Victoria, and the meeting underscored the need to harmonize fishing laws and streamline the issues of fishing permits to improve accessibility. In 2022, the two countries also signed the Defense Cooperation Agreement in 2022 to address the harassment of Kenyan fishermen in Lake Victoria. The Minister of Foreign and Diaspora Affairs is actively overworking alongside other line ministries to ensure the effective implementation of these resolutions. Kenyan missions in Kampala and Dar es Salaam continue to protect Kenyan interests by liaising with authorities to ensure consular access to detained citizens. And furthermore, these missions collaborate closely with the diaspora associations of Kenya, in Uganda and Tanzania, maintaining continuous updates from associations officials on the status of any detained Kenyans. Security committees within counties bordering Lake Victoria have been briefed to remain vigilant in safeguarding the welfare of their citizens. All reported cases of arrests and diligently followed up with the aim of securing justice for these affected people. Honorable Speaker, on the strategies put in place by the Ministry to work with the Victoria Fisheries Organization and other stakeholders to harmonize the fishing policies and procedures on the lake and to provide adequate support and protection to fishermen, Kenyan fishermen, Honorable Speaker,